This is Yasura Singh back to you on this day, March 13, 2021, Saturday, from Bharat, India, addressing all who are available around world regarding this professional talk. This professional talk regarding various issues, including top issue is quality. I'm going to start something afresh that's called how to understand, how to write, what way we are going to construct, what should be basics behind that, how we should start, and title being as usual field engineering, civil field engineering, which includes designs, that includes construction of all types or kinds. Also that includes methods, means what is procedure, what is sequence of our construction, what way we are going to do that. And then of course some parts of contracts and some parts of communication, organization, whatever is there. And top criteria of all these considerations is based on quality organization, quality input. Quality means how best can material, can product, can process, can organization, can system be upgraded, be used in category of highest level of quality, which is defined by producer itself and approved by third party. That system companies, organizations adopt, and that's where we are going to have a review, a fresh approach, an innovative approach, an approach that can change scenario because it is required, very much required. It's not simply something that we can say it's myself who has to decide. No, I'm no one to decide. I am no one to decide. We have to understand what should be done. We have to understand what is best way to do something, how best we can do something. It's very much, you can say, required in life. Quality is no joke. You can say it's no joke. Quality is a requirement. Quality is a requirement, I can say. It is very much requirement and nobody can escape this. You can say nobody can escape this quality. Without quality, nothing is possible. That is also true. And if we make quality, we do not do anything very special. Means nothing is going to happen without quality. That's also true. Quality, you can say, a kind of logical approach. I should say that if you do not have quality in yourself, you have nothing. Why I am stressing this? There's a logic behind that. Without quality, we are nowhere. And with quality, we are everywhere. I'm not talking of packing quality. I'm not talking of show quality. I'm not talking of delivering quality. I'm not talking of sale quality. I'm not talking of how to deal with your customer, that quality. I'm talking original quality that product should have. I know there is a system everywhere. Your system says that you have to satisfy your customers. But that customer satisfaction doesn't mean you talk to them politely. Okay, that's one part of life. But you charge them less, you discount to them. But it's not quality criteria. Quality criteria says product which customer is buying, its performance must satisfy that end user, that final or end stakeholder that stakeholder was not seen at time of production, at time of your project planning, at time of your, you can say, initiation of charter of your project. That person came into being after buying your product, and that is king stakeholder. You can say that person is exclusive, that person is an exclusive stakeholder in your product, in your organization, which you used to call in beginning end user or consumer. Consumer was not known at that time, but it was known somebody would be there. What choice consumer would have? Everybody knows minimum cost and maximum performance. This is requirement demanded by every consumer, every end user around the world. I think there is no consumer in this world who say, okay, I'll pay more price, and give me worst material. There can be only madman who can say that, but a person having little prudence won't say that. A person having little knowledge won't say that. If I want to buy something, I would expect quality of that. That's where point lies in. If I understand this point, I can make myself comfortable. I can make myself, you can say, reasonably well, and can say, okay, that's fine, and I have no problem at all. I can do with this. That point is very, very important. You have to understand that point. That what I can say, we have to understand this point in reality, and not only in our speech or wherever else. So here I could say we have to understand what we want to do. Whatever we want to do, it's not simply that because that is that must be a part of an integrated part of your system, organizational system, which is also called quality organization, quality management, or total quality system, you may call it, or total quality organization you call it. And whatever you follow, it doesn't make a difference. You may follow international standards like ISO or like Six Sigma or like whatever. I think that values to an extent. Third party certification TPC is concerned. Otherwise, I don't think it has gone more than that certain meaning, because these certifications never ever guarantee availability of quality input in whatever product that organization produces or whatever certification third party grants. Those are only indications that they follow certain system. Certification confirms that this organization from whom you buy your product complies with certain requirements of that system, and there is no more than that any guarantee. There exists nothing more than that, you can say. So we have to take that point into our minds whenever we buy something. Then don't be decisive just because this product follows certain ISO 9000 or some other certification, because that is just enrollment as a complier of this procedure. But you can say that is, that certifying authority, which is called third party, that is not available anywhere when production goes on. Formalities are done, paperwork is done, everything is done, but many men many workmen, many persons, many work people who operate it, who do job. So you cannot say yes. You have to experience. You have to experience. That's why you say your experience. You tell us means it's not that something you do very small just for 1 hour service to someone and then you ask for please tell us how our service was. I sometimes really feel irritated at this system. Like somebody comes to my house and serves some equipment, it takes just half an hour to 1 hour. Then that person says, okay, give me satisfactory code. I give satisfactory code. That person goes away, and then there's a mail or call from that organizer, from that manufacturer. Please give us your service input. How you feel this is means half an hour, 1 hour service requires another input. So I think that is just eyewash that we are very serious with this. Seriousness is proven only when there is no more service required means or very little service required. If I have to pay for service, I have to pay for material, I have to pay for AMC. If I have to pay for everything, then what is your contribution? Some people what they do today, these days, what is it? They reduce cost of your item and they cover that cost in guarantee period or you can say AMC period. So it is same thing directly or indirectly. Suppose I buy some product of 13,000, 14,000 today and it's valid for 2 years. It's guarantee and after 2 years it's okay. Give us 5,000 month, 5,000 annually for its maintenance, annual AMC. So in 2 or 3 years they cover additional costs. So this 14,000 is further covered in three years more. So it is, you can say, this is indirectly commercial guarantee. Commercial means they give you some discount in beginning and then cover in AMC. So I don't consider this okay. This is commercial planning. This is, you can say, finance, how to make money, how to satisfy consumer as well as how to charge profit or gain profit. It doesn't mean that this is quality. I don't call it quality system. I call it tactics of business. Quality can be guaranteed. Quality means suppose your products for 2 years, there should be no problem even up to 5 years. That's important. If I pay for a product and they keeping safety factor, say okay, they may be sure that the product will work for 5 years, but it doesn't work for even for 2 years or 1 year, and we call them a service. Of course, for life certain warranty period, and they repair that or they replace the whatever, but that doesn't amount to the product is quality product because I need them, I require their services to repair it or refunction or reinstate that product. That's not quality. That is process quality. That's only convincing quality. If I buy product means this means you manufacture in such a way that it should not get disordered in 2 years or 1 year time. So you know that. That's why you use either not that durable part or use some parts which cannot integrate with each other, and there is some deficiency. There remains some deficiency, which deficiency you didn't try to because you are not. You say I'm not charging for that, and I'll cover it in AMC or somewhere else. That's not. I can't consider it's a quality basis. Means you are putting in your quality basis, your commercial basis, which is not professional, but nobody points out this. Everybody is busy with quality certifiers or quality process certifiers. Those representatives or companies are also the registration third party people also. I think they have same objective. Means they also not very much mindful about this. But as a citizen of this country and as a consumer of products, I have a question. I raise this question all time to everybody. What do you mean by quality? And that meaning is really wonderful. Everybody can define its own way what is quality. Questioning, answering, QA you can say question and answer. Literature or literate how you are in this iteration. Means you can define your way. I'm not going to put my enforcement on you. Quality is very wide and it must be considered very wide. And most important point is that while talking of quality, everybody who works on manufacturing, everyone from zero to all A to Z, they must have clear concept that quality has to exist and how it can exist, that is defined by methods, that is defined by procedures, and those procedures must be very clear from one point to other point and other point to another point until it is clear in system, and of course not only clear in system, it is complied with, is applied with, and there are many so checks on that everywhere everywhere. Every person involved, every equipment involved must not sleep, must perform. Sleeping is nowhere, sleeping is nowhere recognized in profession. Sleeping, I'm not saying body sleeping, but concentration sleeping, or innocent, you can say ignorance of points, ignorance of something due to other point. That ignorance, you can say lack of supervision, you may say, that should not exist. Whatever we decide, we have to do this, we have to follow this steps in this work, it must be followed. And if we do not follow, we say we are not doing our job, we don't do our job. That criteria must be clearly defined, quality criteria, and that method which I am talking of is very important point, method. When I explain to you about quality requirements and contracts in my past discussions, where I'm saying title is this, title is field engineering, civil field engineering methods, quality, quantity, all engineering designs, all these are there. But important point is method. Whatever method we adopt, it should be uniform, and it should work uniformly, so that whatever materials within tolerances we should deliver must have defined defined criteria of its construction with defined specifications applicable. That's why we call specification, because for every product we say this is specification. There is a, you can say, approach that my product is built or is manufactured within this limit, and those limits are called applicable specifications. Those specifications might not be complete, but we defined, we selected that we shall work within this criteria of specifications, and only because we do in limited criteria, so we are charging limited. Otherwise, charges would have been immense. But we have to be clear. We should not say I am the best. If somebody says I am best, I think that person cheats customer. Why you say you are best? What's first define what is best? Then you will say, okay, compare my performance to compare that person's performance, or this is my performance and this is performance of this company, or this is performance of another product. No, that's not right. There may be differences in performances, but question is, whatever you decided for your quality achievements, did you follow them? That's main point. And that's where I stand different with many people, that even our own specifications, our own adopted specifications, we are unable to follow, and that's where failure lies. So keeping that point in mind, I thought to bring into our consideration something, and that is called, we call it a procedure writing. you know Building practice, buildings doesn't mean only for buildings. This means whatever you build. In context we have to live in, we have to talk of, and then AnnexSL, where definition of organization is given. Then of course we have to talk, we have to communicate, we have to write, coordinate about quantity, that is quantity which is dominative for everyone, but if it is added with quality, otherwise there is no meaning. And why we be behind quality of concrete standard material? Concrete, here is concrete also, as well as defined standard material, you can say solid standard material. That's what's required. So we have to take this title into broad consideration. It's field engineering when I say civil field engineering. It's related to civil but also to all other disciplines, which are, you can say, certainly parallel and integrated part of civil engineering, though these belong to other engineerings. Other engineering like mechanical, for example, HVAC. HVAC relates to mechanical engineering, as well as lift arrangements belong to mechanical engineering, or you can say water supply or plumbing also belong to mechanical engineering many, in some cases. And you can say there are structural steel department or work, manufacturing installation in many cases belong to mechanical engineering. My neighbor is mechanical, my neighbor is electrical, my neighbor is electronics, like that. Some percentage of my work is done by them. That's an important part of understanding. We have to, and if you can understand that, so from that viewpoint, I just try to write something for people who may be interested in knowing that, and that's called method statements or procedures. This is for whatever facility. It is for electrical, for civil, for mechanical, for whatever disciplines we do, whether in office or in field. But it's most important for field because field is a place where you do whatever is done. You do physically, constructively, and facts are known there only. What we did, is it efficient, or we have to make changes to that for future. Whatever method we give final shape, it must be done in field, and field would tell us also what you are doing is right or it's not right. Does it require modification? But it will not say everything is wrong. It will tell some point at some place that here you can some thinking error exists, and we have to correct that. In such a way, when we define something from A to Z, that's very important point because definition can be read by everybody, particularly to those who are responsible for that work. That definition works, and that's very important point. So just a brief on method statements. How can we do? That's the point of concept. It's a point of understanding. I'm not saying what I speak that's final, or what I write that's final. It's very old writing. Even then we have to understand what actually we say we want to know. It's for everybody to understand because everyone can be method writer. You have to be method writer or procedure writer because you are a qualified person in engineering. And in engineering, without reading, without analysis, without synthesis, and without experience, you can say you cannot do anything. If you can think or you can understand engineering procedures, you can write them also. And that writing skill is very important. It's not literally writing, but it's technical writing. Technical writing should be clear cut. You should not say, oh no, if you do like this, it will happen. This would not work because it's time, it's money, it's resources we use in our engineering, and you cannot take them for granted. Okay, today I don't do, tomorrow I'll think that way. No, they can't do that. Time is very precise, cost is limited, budgeted, and quality you have to decide. Time, cost, quality, and many other safety risks and other risks. But these are very important because you cannot take risks on either of these three: cost, time, and quality. These three are required to be a part of input in your system, and you can't change them And if you want to modify, you may modify at one stage or other stage and redefine. Re- Engineering was defined later on. A whole universe was constructed. That itself is most biggest project in universe. That this universe was constructed. I will discuss that one, but let's go further. More than 50% budget in all economics. More than 50% budget in all economies. Economies, when I say this is nations, it's not economy subject. More than 50% budget in all economies is covered on development works, which involve construction projects pertinent all types. Now, contribute to such development schemes, projects all around globe. Engineering, engineering has been very significant word to, to successfully deliver all such projects. Engineering has been very significant word to successfully deliver all such projects. In fact, generally not all, but some technicians, engineers, site engineers, project engineers, and even many project managers are not well experienced to compose sequences, compose sequences respecting hundreds construction activities that require to be performed on projects. All they might be knowing construction prosecution works in physical respects, but communication of activities and respective sequence must be available on statements. On statements, orders to avoid incorrect sequence, which can lead to doing either reworks or remedial works or repair works when correct sequence not followed on site. Means if you make mistakes on site, you have to work again on that activity. So it costs you time, it costs you, you know, cost, and also it adversely impacts your status that you are a quality achiever. You are not a quality achiever because you are making mistakes. It's significant for site management or site organization to clearly instruct frontline organizers, frontline leaders and managers to carry out works or all written in a set format, including like what? Number one is scope, references of drawings, references specification, or references manufacturer instruction, or references whatever you think is logical to be included in that paper, that writing. So scope, then references, and what safety methods you are going to adopt for that. But this is again reminding them. So you can say sequence is scope, then reference, followed by safety, and then responsibilities. Responsibility. If it is in sequence, it is responsibilities. Then we reach point of methods, which is methods or procedures, which is actual, which is reality of requirement. And this whole statement you are talking is about this methods or procedures. Detailed one means detailed it doesn't mean research, but how to carry out those procedures, those activities, which then can further follow with equipment, means a list of equipment, brief list that you are going to use for the activity for which you are submitting this statement. That equipment list, and that is to an extent practically required on site to be known to all involved, supervisory staff, crew members, prior to work is commenced with, and that's what is very important. And it has to be approved by all, first by owner, then by yourself, by constructor. This must be brought to notice of everybody. On to, after this sequencing, then set statement, we can say this is now defined statement, or set statement should be composed in a style that procedures to be affected on site must not unnecessary waste crew time as well as worth understanding. It's very important sentence, says that this statement should be composed in a style that procedures to be affected on site must not unnecessarily waste time. We should not write something that people don't understand first of all. Then this should be not in a superfluous, or you can say it wastes time of people and may not be understood clearly. That's not required. It should be clear cut statement. We should clearly speak in ordinary common understanding language, Tamil language, that what is required, and do not repeat undue requirements. Ultimately, people know what they are going to do, but they just know which way it is required to be done. That everybody doesn't know. They know what is to be done, but what is actual sequence of doing, that is most important in method statement. And we can say, what do we say? All activities should be performed in an efficient manner, complying with full safety and defined quality, which requires point to point description of respective tasks. So all activities should be performed in an efficient manner. Do not waste time. Do not be out of concentration. Be, you know, immerse yourself in matter for some time. So all activities should be performed in an efficient manner, complying with full safety and defined quality, which requires point to point description of respective tasks. I personally observed that works are not given adequate attention from procedures viewpoint, while PM to FM think varying ways. PM to FM means project manager to foreman. All other categories lie in between. Engineers often, engineers often find it an issue to compose intended procedures that should be practically complied with on job due to having inefficient writing skill. This is the only reason that they are unable to write that. Due to having what? Statements. Writing require engineering which management generally do not expect from all those who remain busy around 14 hours a day on construction sites to focus on technical documentations for submission and approval. Without engineers or clients or companies' approval, means whatever is written, it must be approved by all. Means it should be approved by company or client, engineer, and of course, you can say whoever is involved, and contractor is already approved it by submitting this method. If contractor submits it, or if third party submits, then third party is own expenses. So we can say simply that according to QA system or QR system, work cannot be allowed to be prosecuted on projects for sites until relevant method statement has been approved. These two lines, without engineers or clients or companies' approval, such statements cannot be registered as professional documents for implementation. And according to the system, quality system, work cannot be allowed to be prosecuted on project sites until relevant method statement has been approved. So I say according to your system, work cannot be allowed to be prosecuted on project sites until relevant method statement has been approved. Work can be delayed when method statements are not available with site engineers, project engineers. While this delay costs time and money. But work has been delayed. You have to keep in mind. Work can be delayed by this absence of method statement. Many project directors appoint project office engineers or field engineering managers or organizers to accomplish such technical activities, who in turn interact with site personnel to extract professional lease activity, paid activity, and all those activities which fall behind. We have to take that point into consideration. The many directors appoint project office engineers. It's a very important point. Let us say engineering managers, organizers to accomplish such technical activity, who in turn interact. Points are noted like a journalist or reporter, and a statement are composed based on collected information. Now, method statements I'm talking about is method statement writing activity requires thorough knowledge about job in consideration, which are in talk. Uh, contract requirements. What are contract requirements? What is drawings details? What are all these drawings? And then you can say that specifications involvement as industrial practice in inquiry records, such as site technical queries or engineering queries, etc., which move together with project, and all to form constitute a basis to complete all columns on proposed statements, leading to delivery of professional documents to be reviewed by contractors management organization, including quality, safety, and to be disposed of for final approval by engineer or client. Once a statement is approved, it has to be complied with in letter and spirit as a part of contract procedures. While it's a case of proposed deviation, it's a case of proposed deviation, a revision should be issued. Revision should be issued. Now you can say that once a statement is approved, then it's to be complied with in letter and spirit as a part of contract procedures. While it's a case of proposed deviation, a revision should be issued included within included with this publication. There are many other statements that I'll share with you, and structures, building, exterior works, etc. shall be included, supported by many sketches in resemblance to requirements. All statements have been based on personal experience of construction and project engineering experience. Project engineering experience has to put you in trouble. Means you have to think a lot, write a lot, understand a lot, just to see job success. All statements have been based on personal experience. Again, I say, personal experience of construction and all attempt has been made to assess those who do not. All statements have been based on personal experience of construction and project engineering experience. Expertise without whatever imagination or speculation, which should have been appreciated by you people, reader. Now this was written long back. Now an attempt has been made to assess those who do not have professional experience or do not have practical requirement knowledge. What I say that an attempt has been made to assess those who do not have professional experience, but it consumes many years of professional engineering experience and practice to understand all such procedure virtually. Otherwise, that person outside. Now, what it says that it consumes many years of professional engineering experience practice to understand all such procedures virtually. But it's intended that building engineers should make competence are at an earliest to compete. Competition engineering is very important, otherwise we cannot do engineering. You fight for something you should not fight. And you do not fight for something you should fight. That's some difference in your approach. That's all the difference. Where I should fight, I keep off, and where I should not fight, I just poke my nose, It happens. So it's my interest to request now leave this because institution did not do anything. I do not care for this one. I send this text to institution of engineers just to do something for this, but I don't think they take any interest. So purpose of this work is to assist those aspiring professional engineers who are unable currently to refer to certain practical field books. Due to non-availability, it's my spiritual interest to produce certain works certain writings that can say we help engineers for CPD, that's continuous professional development, and this ties. So that's the point here. We are going to help those people that you can say. I also can say many other writings which I am going in sequence now to share with you whenever I think it's time to share, and that's about construction management, contract management, site-based documents, and these are all important. So say a stock of other works, respecting construction management organization, and contract management, contract organization, site-based, you can say, documents under working, preservation of that is most important. Provisions is also, you can say, inspire your drawings, your walls, your paints, then I get something like this. But particularly construction method statements should assist work execution on site, which cannot be extracted from fingers. So I can say no texts are available that provide comprehensive information about projects, precautions, strategy, which is always problematic for engineers to refer to all such documents. A result of that lack of information leads to drop from organization levels. Now, long back, you see, my field work pertaining to site construction management, including many engineering hand-drawn sketches respecting complicated site fabricated formwork, etc., was published by CBS in 1996, which can also be referred to for more details. Materials and vendors' names included somewhere are indicative only and no recommendation. Hope this suffice. This is what I had to say about this. This introductory note, just to refer, means how How is this word lies here? What it says, that's more important. Now, what actually we are going to talk, that's also a point. We may see here. This is a kind of, kind of scheduled pertinent 168 method statements included within following chapters. Site environment management, then we have equipment structure, then we have excavations and crossings, and then we have buildings and plants. And then we have non-plant buildings, then we have infrastructure, then external works and utilities. These are sketches titles, a list of title sketches, are self-explanatory and can be linked to all method statements for a better understanding, but all these are indicative only, and this is a sketch. I'm just giving sketch names, not numbers, because interested in what stars titles are, sketch titles. It's not, you can say, it's not titles of procedure, no. Trench excavation, safety, railing and ladder, this is one, you can say, it's a very important point. Safety is endangered while excavate trench, so this is that requirement. And then we have excavation safety of a major building with ordinary foundations without ramp. Excavation safety of a major building with ordinary raft foundation with ramp. Excavation safety of a major building with benchings, firm foundation with ramp and diverting well point system. Then excavation safety of major building with benchings in foundation with ramp and diverting submersible pumps. We say supporting, excavation safety of major building with benchings for foundation with ramp and diverting submersible pump system. Then supporting to trench site for surcharge due to building. Pipe rack foundation concrete protection. Light pole foundation precast or cast in situ. In RCC, underground sump chambers, arrangement for precast manhole hulls and cover lifting lugs. Then tank base grouting by construction chemical grout, tank base grouting it is, and then say so it says that tank base grouting by construction chemical grout. Then before that was arrangement for precast manhole walls and cover lifting lugs. Then compressor foundation tabletop typical. Seawater surge basin reservoir for major storage. Then water power pumping, project buildings, plaster block walls and tiles, building new sewer line, RCC box culvert, then traffic diversion for infrastructure services, and Hmm. Then, you know, you can say many more chapters here. You can see many more chapters on that aspect. You can go on counting them, and it's important point that we have to understand them. Understanding is much important here. Hmm. It's always easy to say something, but without thinking. Just to speak because I did this and that's only right. No. Technical work means scrutiny and scrutiny and scrutiny. Self scrutiny, other party scrutiny, third party scrutiny. There may be people coming in joining engineering and also currently launching. We have to keep ourselves immersed in such scenario because concentration is very important. It's not simply that I say or somebody else. It's requirement, deep thinking, shallow. Now there are so many sketches I have put in, and you can see list so many titles, so many subjects, all lead to certain method statements. Uh, it's really amazing to project something which is beneficial for everyone. So there are so many, you can say, long titles, short titles. You'll come across this while we produce, move forward. There are about, you know, 108 here. Quality is ultimately aim to achieve. We can't cheat ourselves. We can't say we have done it or not done it when we don't do it. We have to do it, only then we can say we have done it. We have to think of what to do, what not to do. Again, I am referring to past writing of forward. After all, 50% I say it could be more budget that goes to projects and methods and titles, you can say, which is economic interference, economic impact on that. We have to be rationalistic and realistic. It's now, well, say 50% of budget goes to something. This means it's very important that we have total 100 and 50 or more value goes to exhibition. Which is not in time constant. it's now very clear that we have to understand it's important. It's very clear in this respect. I'll be back within a couple of minutes. Just a moment, please. Now let's start this. Some important just I was browsing through for your reference what I'm going to do. Now it's very important one building practice for professionals, building practice for professionals, construction method statements, chapters, equipment structures. This is now chapter 2 it is just all information it is. You have to concentrate on this. It's very important one, and this is equipment structures, safety general. Now refer to chapter 3, that's MS 12 and 13, chapter 4, MS 1, and chapter 3 is MS 12 and 13. Then chapter 6 for general provisions on safety disciplines, in addition to those included with various method statements on this chapter. That is chapter 3, it is method statement 12 and 13 in chapter 3, that's chapter 4, MS1. So let's see what to talk of for general provisions on safety disciplines. In addition, those included with various method statements on this chapter. Let's see, well, I'll back on this. Let us see whether relevant point should be extracted from discipline. Relevant point should be extracted from description in line with requirements on relevant activities. It's to be noted that safety standards vary from organizations to organization, company to company, and client to client. Just consideration of economy on project cannot conclusively be criteria to avoid or reduce safety measures. A minimum level of safety measures installation should be made a must for a site supervised to ensure that workforce must work safely. It's preferable to work with acceptable level of safety rather than losing lives of workers. Now, placing concrete on service water tank foundation. Just the title is placing concrete on service water tank foundation. Now it is index, in this case we can say it is scope, safety method, and methods, equipment, attachment is general. Now scope says purpose of this statement is to define sequence and methodology for placing concrete on service water tank foundations. It is specification concrete, that is a reference document in this case, because we are going to place concrete, just for reference it is. Then definition says PSM, CSM, CS, SC, GFM, FM, QC, SO. PSM is project site manager, CSM is construction manager, CS is construction superintendent, SC site engineer, GFM general foreman, FM is foreman, QC is quality control, SO is safety officer. Responsibilities PSM shall control overall operations. The project site manager has to control everything, control overall operations in all respects, respecting site management controls or site organization control. And CM's construction manager shall arrange resources required accordingly and act overall responsible of ongoing operation. CS, construction superintendent, shall control, monitor, and direct site engineer, foreman, and workforce for operations. And site safety engineer shall be responsible for all site operations. Site engineer shall be responsible for all site operations. Follow instance of CS. That's SC is site engineer. And of course, other designations, say for example, we define here GF just shall general foreman shall actually lead execution operations by directing all foremen workforce as necessary. FM's foreman shall execute operations and deploying workforce and instruct on full in medium of language work of persons understand about all required measures, conduct, start toolbox talk every day and check that instructions are followed regularly. Quality control operations, shall inspect all operations and according to specifications that is are done and ITP requirement make sure that all works are done meeting specification and ITP requirement. Site test laboratory shall conduct concrete delivery test to define criteria. Now regarding safety, because safety is also a part of construction's mandatory parts, safety officers shall. Safety is a responsibility first of all, listen gentlemen, the responsibility of everyone, so just defying, inserting in this for purpose of reminding, for purpose of mandate that safety is a must and safety officers shall monitor daily activities, advising and implementing all safety procedures. Prior to commencement of whatever activity, workforce shall receive its start card of toolbox stock. That starts safety task analysis. It's called safety task analysis and review technique. That's called start card and toolbox talks. We said talk about tool, how we operate your tools. Tool. Somebody said tool. We now saw toolbox talks. So this was talk related to tool. Means what your toolbox gets in for the activity. How do you assert them safely? Whatever tools one has to approve, it should be safe. I should be reminded every time or frequently. Everyone, because everyone forgets. And while working physically, you cannot concentrate, you can't remember, but even that's because you have to observe certain instructions regarding use of tools so that you don't damage yourself, you don't harm, injure yourself on projects. Safety site requirements. Respecting involves item activity. Now process involving a particular safety risk shall be calculated by job hazard analysis or job hazard assessment. SJH job hazard means process involving a particular safety risk be calculated by job hazards assessment and necessary measures adopted to address risk issue so that included measures comply to real requirements standards. Only competent personnel shall be engaged to carry out operation. Personnel shall use all necessary personal protective equipments required for all pertinent activities. Ample means of water should be available on site for workers as well as for all other purposes. Safety officers shall ensure all those who work on shift activities should be fully aware of safety obligations and implementation expected of them. Emergency procedure for first aid shall be explained to everyone. All equipment tools that operate on site shall be in full working order with appropriate lighting. Measures shall be resorted to correctly for activities such as reinforcing bars, fabrication and fixing, formwork fabrication and installation, concrete pouring, etc. Adequate scaffolding arrangements shall be made to have access to higher level to work safely. Prior to commencement of concrete pour, workforce shall receive a toolbox talk on safety requirements with special care affected to ensure adequate provided lighting arrangements. Plan to use 2 number tower lights, each with 4 to 1000 watt bulbs. It means whatever you can say. Access platforms shall be provided all around ground beams. On outside formwork 2 number aluminum ladders shall be placed at opposite ends to each access platforms from ground levels. Access platforms shall be provided with handrails all around for working safely. Methods. Just a minute. Let me see what sketch was. Yeah, I'm finding here. So let me go and see sketch method. I'll come back to method. Define some sketches. Let us see. Where is that? That is somewhere here, I think. Yeah. Chapter 3, AnnexSL 13. This is chapter 4, AnnexSL 13, chapter 6, page 1 for general provision, safety, discipline, and addition to the. This was, let us see what it was. Let me be clear about this. Taking it. Chapter 3, AnnexSL 13. Let us see chapter 3. Chapter 3. It's not that, it's something else, not this. AnnexSL, it is AnnexSL. AnnexSL 13, chapter 4, chapter space 1. Ms. Bharatiyana, 1213. 1213 is this. Red crossing to make good wearing course were completed. 1 number 14 inches designed water, 1 number 18 is potable water. And verse 13 is road crossing to make good Temporarily wearing course over completed this and sketch is of course important in this case. Let us see which sketch is talking. Install 13 sketches is talking, and let us see which sketch is talking. Chapter on this and chapter disciplines in this various method statements in this chapter. Sketch chapter 6 verse 1. Chapter 6 verse 1. Okay, I'll go back to method first. Some the document is currently not traceable. Let us first understand what is this. What the method says. So preparatory marks for information sketches 60. Up to here we had gone. So safety we had gone through. Structure, this we have seen. Responsibilities we have seen. Then let us see the chapter 2. It was actually yes, I'm talking about this one. This is other equipment tools operations. All is in full working condition. We are here. I am sure we are here. This we have done. Yes, this is, we had to move from here. Now, preparatory work shall be carried out for formwork in circular profile, for which due provision should be made for specialist form. This we have done already. Safety we have taken. And we have to method. Preparatory works shall be carried out for formwork in circular profile, for which due provision should be made for specialist form. This form shall be well supported and anchored to resist expected forces during war. As a parallel activity, reinforcing bars shall be placed and fixed in correct position. Duly inspected, it is proposed to cast ring beam in 2 pours. Stop end Forms shall be placed at opposite locations across full width and depth to establish construction joints. Concrete shall be poured onto sections in one go 300 to 450 mm high round and compacted with suitable vibrators. Care shall be taken to ensure that concrete is placed and compacted its final position within time permissible from time of matching to time it should be compacted in accordance with concrete concrete production specification, which may be generally 1 to 2 hours. Concrete delivery shall be planned accordingly to quantity, duration, pour to enable a smooth concreting operation. Concrete shall be continually poured from start to concrete pour finish. No cold joints shall be allowed to form, and all flash setting off of concrete should be avoided by water spraying on forms and rebars so that both items are kept temperature lower than air temperature. Proper concrete vibration shall be effected using needle vibrator after concrete is completed. Proper method of curing shall be carried out and continued for specified number of days. All tests for on-site concreting be conducted by ready-mix concrete laboratory staff, duly recorded, and QS inspection shall be conducted for this concrete pump, concrete trucks, vibrators, etc. This is all that I can say. This is equipment structure. Compressors, structures, RC column plate inserts. Let's see what the contents are. We'll discuss. Sketch 60, 60A and 20. Sixty A and 20, we'll open them. Before this, let me just give you a sketch again. It's very important sketch. Close this file. This is about lift formwork. Just for interference, I'm giving this because I had to close this file. And this by chance I opened this just for your. This is left here. This is left, and this is your lift door. Section of this shutter. These are shutterings. I'm giving shuttering on elevation A, B, and this elevation A, and this elevation B, this elevation A, like this. These elevations are here. You can see how this is framed in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spaces here, and 8 spaces means you have to do formwork like this, and 8 spaces means 50-50, that's it's 4 meter high. So 50-50 centimeter, half a meter, and this is positioning support. This is also a kind of positioning here, you can see. And this is resultant force, resultant resistance, IR2, and also same thing is here. Same applies here. It's 0.5 it gives. This is, you can say here, 16 torque. 1 meter vertical centers, these are here. Vertical centers, tie bolts or tie rods in ball, so that 16 ton, each here, and they approximately 3 in 1 square meter. Calculate to find that. 1 here, 2, 3, 4, this 4, this 4, and this 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 16. 16 numbers in how much? You can say 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 16. So 3 to 4 you can say in 1 square meter. There's this is understanding. Here you can say these are tie bolts, tie rods, and these are holdings. This is door in for no concrete there. Then this is port platform inside. But like this is just the general directive statements of 64A. Though it's not related to what I was talking of, it is something else, but you can say we require, we need 60, 60A and 20. I'm just going to close this. Just I kept it open for just showing to you. It's very complicated work, and I explained you about pouring off this, but this work itself is very much voluminous, because what you see, one panel, one side, two side, three side, four side, five sides, six sides, seven side, eight side, 8 big panels, or many panels in one. See, 4 meter itself is height, and 4 meters you can say. 1.2 means 4 ply must be here vertical, 4 side, 4 ply, then 4 ply here vertical. This is 2.4, so 2.4 and another one. So how many plywood you are going to use this? That's question mark. Just can say, let's say 4 average, 4, 1, 16, and this is 3 average, 12, 16 and 12, 28. 28 meters is length, 28 meters is length itself, which means you can say 28 ply itself, 28 meters in length into 4 meters, 28 into 4, 112. And 112 means 1 ply is, let's say 2.8, 112, let's say 2.3, then 40, how many plies are there? 40 plies, you have to use 40 this case, and also ply in door. So it's a voluminous work, since there's a lot of work in this lift well. So it was just kept for your explanation. I will close this now, because no need of this to give any more. This was for your information. That's gone away now. I'll open this sketch. The sketch, 60, 60 and 20. 60, 60 and 20 in this. Open this sketch. Also very important point. Syllabus statement 60 chapters, sketches 60, 20, let's say 20 first of all. 20, alright. Let's say 20. It is 20 and 60, 60A, 20, 60A. So that's 20, and let us say 60 and 60A. 60A, 60A, sorry, I think I wrote the wrong one. This is 60A. I think I wrote the wrong one here, no problem, we'll close this. This is columns, inserts. This is, alright, this one is okay, and this one is plating standards, standard one here, base plate, stiffness, and of course, let's get 61A, and this is works. I'll try to then you can say here this is because I have shown before also this, but again this is a sketch of a plant, big plant here, and we are talking somewhere here, we are talking somewhere here, we are talking somewhere here, and we are talking about this is process area and main area of this plant. This is original refinery plant. This is in a subsidiary. This is kind of by process. This is a real process, and this is so many contents are there. Sketch 20, which was about this 60, 60A, 60 and 60A, and this is 60A 20. This is estimate number in 61A. Actually, this is by mistake has come. 61 is not required here, so I should say 61. I have to close. I'll let me close this one. All right. So now let's move this way. It's okay. And let's move this way. It is also okay. Then okay, we have these three sketches now. We'll read our statement and close this. Okay. Now what it says, let us start again. What it says, equipment instructions, it says compressor structure RC column plate. Inserts. We're talking of compressors structures. Compressor structures RC column plate. Where is that? First of all, let's see where is that in this. This is your plant. In this area, this is here, these are trains somewhere here. In this process area, it is somewhere here, It's not shown here, but in this process area, there are some trains. And these compressors units structures must be here in this. These areas, these are administrative areas, other plant, electrical, all these are offsites, you can say. Process areas here, because parts of process and see automation here. So we have to understand this point. Purpose was to show this first, and it's so we can go back to our point. It says scope, indexes, scope, reference number, reference documents, definitions, responsibilities, safety, method, equipment, attachment. All these are scope, you can say, documents, definitions, responsibilities, safety, method, equipment. These are here. Purpose of the statement, the scope is purpose of the statement, is to define sequence and methodology that shall be implemented for inclusion of RCC column plate inserts. RCC column plate inserts. Purpose of this statement is to define sequence and methodology that be implemented for inclusion of RCC column Late inserts in documents are specification, all concrete relevance and drawing number not indicated herein. And here definition is same as we did before. PSM is project site manager, CSM is construction manager, CS is construction superintendent or project engineer equivalent, or can say site engineer, GFM general foreman, FM is foreman, QC is quality control, SO is safety officer, and we have to see these responsibilities as before. PSM to arrange all materials, control over all operations in all respects, site management, control, and construction manager to arrange all resources required accordingly and act overall responsible for ongoing operations, and construction superintendent to control, monitor, and direct site engineer, general foreman, and workforce for operations. SCP responsible for all site operations and follow instructions of construction superintendent. General foreman shall actually lead execution operation by directing all foremen and workforce as necessary. Foreman shall execute operations deploying workforce and instructing full in medium of language people understand, or work persons understand, about all required measures, conduct start toolbox talk every day, and check that instructions are followed up regularly. QC shall inspect all operations according to specifications and ITB requirement. Safety officers shall monitor daily activities, advising and implementing all safety procedures. Prior to commencement of whatever activity, workforce shall receive a start card, all toolbox talk, safety task and review. That's the start card, is like, given to people, understand that safety task analysis and review technique. So the start card, toolbox talk on project safety, site requirements respecting involved items. Activity, process involving a particular safety task, safety risk shall be calculated by job hazard analysis or assessment, and necessary measures adopted to address risk issues so that included measures comply to real requirement or standard. Only competent personnel to be engaged to carry out operation. Personnel shall use all necessary protective personal protective equipment. PPE is required for all pertinent activities. Ample water means should be available on site for workers as well as for all other purposes. Safety officers shall ensure all those persons who work on shift activities should be fully aware of safety obligations and implementation expected of them. Emergency procedure for first aid to be explained to everyone. All equipment tools that operate on site shall always be in full working order with appropriate lighting wherever required. Now sketches I'm going to show is these sketches, that is refer to sketch 60, 60A and 20 here in our case, and this is sketch here 20, which you have seen. This is for whole layout of plant. This is very important one, layout of plant. Then other one is, this is for compressor detailing. This is for steel plate inserts. These sketches are you can read this if you wish in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. I give time for this. You have a look on this. Still blown up. I will look on this. Meanwhile, just 5 minutes, please, because it takes time. You read yourself better. I'll be back. This is interesting sketch, and you must understand this. This is professional sketch. It means for a plant, for some, it's a byproduct plant. It's not just a plant. It must be well understood before talking further. If you read it, you can get much more than what I can explain to you. Now, want to switch. Ready for that item. Then we do okay. So I came back. Again, interact with you about those issues. What are one? Really, sometimes it happens now. And now I say, what are these sketches actually? This is details of compressors, This is, plan of compressor. Having columns, dimensions. You can see these are dimensions here. These are columns here. This is total details of tabletop. Table details, So it's called, in fact, compressor foundation. Let us say this is foundation block. These are columns. And this is tabletop. So this is compressor foundations total. This portion is in soil, in earth. This is a kind of structure above foundation. People usually call it superstructure. And this is called substructure. But let us say it's the structure. This is 2 meters. This 8 meters. This is 2 meters. And here is beam frame. This is base frame of machine to come on. And there's some inserts here, there are inserts here, embedments, and this portion is epoxy growth because this is vibration machine. You can say heavy cracked gas compressor foundation, tabletop, and all dimensions in meters. And this is column, and this is tabletop plan. You can see this axis. This axis for rotation, and this axis for foundation of machine. And there are, you can say, columns here, and there are some stuff itself. This is insert plates, which are these. I can show you that one here. This is column inserts, all times meters, all columns of compression foundations, steel plate insert. Now, these are tanks here, you can say. On these plates, these are tanks, and this is fixed on all 4 sides of this, you can say. All 4 sides. Steel plates, this is steel plates, and these are steel tanks. Size of this plate is 20 here, you can see 20. This is 1 meter, this is 20, and this is 20 centimeter, 20 centimeter, 2.5 meters, and the spacing of tanks is half meter. Now, visual thickness, which is 4 mm, 6 mm, 8 mm, depending on whatever is that. Now, this is a sketch graph to you. Place method is place and fix column reinforcement at required design locations, and this is place and fix column reinforcement at required design locations in line according to design. Means fix column reinforcement at required design locations in line according to design. Make fabricated forms ready for installation. Forms of drill holes on marked locations on form 2. Forms 2 sides in line according to attached sketch to receive inserts holding bolts. That's for column inserts. That is plate and tanks. Quality inspections to be conducted to ensure correct locations of insert plates fixed with tanks. Fix column insert plates assembly on fabricated forms and bolts fastened per sketch. Erect forms support well secured and concrete pour be carried out. Having pour been over before striking forms, thread bolts be taken out. Threaded bolts which are put in there be taken out. Later holes left shall be required to be filled with galvanized threaded rod 15 mm long. Later holes left shall be required to be filled with galvanized threaded rod long. Fabricated plates with threaded holes, pins and bolts is equipment now. This is one crack test. The sketches are there which is included now. This is crack test compressor massive foundation concrete pour. Actually this is more important. This is second one, no problem, it's come before that. It doesn't matter. Now scope, reference, documents, definitions, regular responsibilities, safety methods, attachment. This for crack test compressor models 4. No problem, the sequence is different but it should be before than the previous one. So index is scope, reference documents, scope. What is scope? Purpose of this statement, method statement, is to define sequence on methodology that be implemented for concrete pour pertinent to crack test compressor foundation, which foundation is a considerable size massive block. A heavy equipment compressor tabletop shall rest on it in dynamic mode, transmitting working vibrations and amplitude rate which forces this foundation work would be required to dampen. This foundation shall be considered to be a massive element, which means that during concrete pouring, temperature controls apply, cracking prevention controls apply, curing controls apply, and overall pouring controls apply. Read again. Because this is scope, it should be clear what we're talking of. First, this purpose of this method statement is to define sequence and methodology that shall be implemented for concrete pour pertinent crack gas compressor foundation, which foundation is a considerable size massive block. A heavy equipment compressor tabletop shall rest on it. Heavy equipment compressor tabletop shall rest on it. So let's say heavy equipment compressor tabletop should rest on dynamic mode, transmitting working vibrations and amplitude to it, which forces this foundation would be required to dampen. Foundation shall be considered to be massive element, which means that during concrete pour, temperature controls apply, cracking prevention controls apply. So temperature controls and cracking prevention controls apply, curing control apply, curing controls apply, overall pouring controls apply. Documents, specifications of concrete and drawings, reference not indicated, designations, and these are same and responsibilities too are same, so we move further. Safety officer shall monitor daily activities as usual, advising and implementing all safety procedures. Prior to commencing of whatever activity, workforce So safety officers shall monitor daily activities, uh, advising and implementing all safety procedures prior to commencement of whatever activity. Workforce shall receive a start card or toolbox stock on project safety site requirements respecting involved item activity. Process involving process. Then you can say process involving a particular safety. Risk shall be calculated by job hazard analysis or assessment and necessary measures adopted to address risk issue so that included measures comply to real requirement or standard. Safety officer shall ensure all those persons working on safe activities be fully aware of safety obligations and implementation expected of them. Personnel shall use all necessary PPEs required for all pertinent activities, and PPEs means personal protective equipment. In addition to general safety measures, to use personal safety equipment, all persons to work on demolition, breaker, grinder, drill, and proprietary products applications should wear gloves, masks, and whatever. And you can say all persons who work on forms and reinforcing bars shall use all safety measures required request as description. Then you can say all persons who work on forms reinforcing bars shall all use safety measures required this description of including various other method statements. You have to see all these statements what is required to go through. But it's not easy and means actually must of that you should understand since we are civil activities are involved in foundation preparatory works and pouring concrete up to depth more than 3 meters. You have to understand this point. So that's why I read again, since heavy RCC activities are involved on foundation preparatory works and So if we say so heavy, so you can say since heavy RCC activities are involved in foundation preparatory works and pouring concrete up to depth more than 3 meters, all measures should be resorted to regarding safe scaffolding, stepped access with handrails, all strong working platforms, all procedures necessary on formworks, all procedures required for reinforcement, fabrication and placement, and top carrying out concrete pouring to pro technology. Since heavy RCC activities are involved on foundation preparatory works and pouring concrete up to depth more than 3 meters, all measures should be resorted to regarding safe scaffolding. In stepped access with handrails, all strong working platforms, all procedures necessary on formworks, all procedures required for reinforcement, fabrication and placement, and on top carrying out concrete pouring to proven technology. Ample means of water should be available on site for workers as well as for all other purposes. And drinking water should be available on site for workforce and tea breaks be allowed. Emergency procedures for first aid shall be explained to everybody. All equipment tools that operate on site shall always be in full working order with appropriate lighting wherever required. Then preparatory works. Now we go to preparatory works for information and sketches. That is 60-12, 60-20, 1258 preparatory works. Let us see what are those. Here I have taken that is 20, then I have taken this is 60, it is 60A, it says now 60, 20, 1258. So 1250 and 60 I have to find out. This 20 is there and this is 60 is there, so 60 and 20 are there, so 60A is there, 60, 20 are there, so I require 60, 20 is there. 12 and 58 we have to find this 12 and 58, and let us see where it is. 12 and 58 I have to see 12 and 58, and it should be somewhere here in my folder. This is management. This is management document 1258, and I should say 12 sketches, and this is 1258. This is 12, not 12, this is 12. It's already 12, and this is 12, and then 58. Let us see where's 58. Where's 58? It's not here. 58, 5, 56, 57. Then 60, 61. Where's 58? It's saying 58. It's not here. Something else, I think. 60, 68. No, it's not here. Let's see what it says about. Let us this 12. Independent 12. So we depend on 12 now to do. Let us see, it's 12. is 12. Let's move this. It's 58. Smart saying it's 58. It's 58. It says following main activities shall be involved for this foundation. Other activities. Let us see first foundation. What foundation is? This sketch. Let me close this one here. It's your plan of axis of rotation. It's okay. This is plan I showed you before. Also symmetrical one. Massive block. This is 75 mm blinding. This compressive foundation massive block. This is foundation. This is columns. This is top. Now it says safety requirements. Excavation to 3 meters deep. This excavation we have to do here. Then all excavation safety required. Blinding safety required. So excavation safety required here. In this excavation of 3 meters deep, excavation safety required, and blinding safety required, concrete protection safety required, massive block foundation safety procedures required, then concrete, of course, according to manufacturer instructions. Say that this is our 1258. Now setting out required coordinates at all corners to be used for excavation. Setting out is important one, that. Let us see 58. Where is 58? I'm not finding 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57. We see 60, 61. So it's not available in this case. I think let's now and recording all existing coordinates at all corners to be used for excavation, and recording all existing reduced levels from site within areas to be covered with excavation, recording all existing reduced levels from site within areas to be covered within excavation, reconfirmation regarding all surveys, reconfirmation regarding all survey activities to determine accuracy, since no change is on that is to determine accuracy, since no change is on setting out should be permissible. Running utilities around foundation which may comprise of heavy piping not work. So whatever layout is given in our details, that must be complied with on site. No tolerance, no deviation, nothing, because there could be any pipe, whatever pipe running around. You apply all precautions and barricading around site, the removal of excavated material to stockpile areas. You have to excavate and at the same time removal of excavated materials to stockpile areas. Simultaneous means that excavation is simultaneous removal of excavated material to stockpile areas. Continuous monitoring excavation size and levels by surveyor. Preparation of formation for application of compaction duly tested. Preparation for blending concrete on compacted formation by fixing prefabricated blinding stops around setting out line marks. And it apply for protection, that is below ground protection, waterproofing you can call it, followed by application of protection. Screen means that if it's automatic it can't damage means okay, otherwise it provide protection screen onto that waterproofing membrane or concrete protection membrane. QC inspection conducted for release for foundation. Preparatory activities, fabrication of steel rebars and deliverables to site locations duly tagged for easy identification. Fabrication of foundation site formworks. Foundation site formworks based on proprietary design delivered by specialist vendor in line to satisfactory structural calculation respecting concrete hydraulic forces. Fabrication of foundation site formwork based on proprietary design line to satisfy structural calculations respecting concrete hydraulic forces. Placing steel bars for lower side in correct locations in line is fabricated out of heavy steel bars to support upper layer. Placing steel bars for upper side in correct location in line according to structural drawings designs. Placing all columns, rebars, towels for structural columns pertinent to tabletop. Erection, installation, fixing, formwork to foundation sites in line accordance to setting out line marks. Fixing cathodic protection anodes to exact locations within foundations. Fixing of C-clamps and GI wire rope to maintain steel reinforced in line to design provisions. Electrical containment and all preparatory works, including temporary works, are ready. QC inspection should be conducted for obtaining concrete pour approval. After concrete pour approval is obtained, procedures shall be implemented for further concrete activities. Preparatory works will concentrate on this item before jumping on to others, because this is a very important one. Some site fabricated formwork pressure calculation. To show you one file which is a very important one from a structural viewpoint. So this file is of course very important and will need to be very importantly corrected, this one. Okay, I just like to take a print of this so that I can show you this. Maybe. Okay, that's okay, fine. This is a. This is let us say file save as it is. So this you can see. Before going further, I'd like to show you this. It's a very important point here. It's I try to show something here. How to calculate pressure on formwork. Is simple calculation formula that can be used on site for column formula. This is for column, but it can be used. Basic formula is here. What it says that building practices says chapter 13. Density, layers height, column width, column depth, pressure per meter, moment per meter, pressure per meter, bending moment per, then moment on width, moment setting time. It is column 4 is one part. Then title is sample calculation, indicative only. And here is what it says: pouring assumed in 30 minutes, frequency on layers but can vary, force reduce every layer by 5%, assumption made for sequential pour of many columns at one time can be increased depending on other factors. All these notings here. And this is how pressure graph moves in. You can see just here it's fluid at one time, then it's 0.5 fluid, you can see here 0.5 fluid, then it is fluid, semi-fluid, and then 0.5, 1 meter, 1.5, 2 meters, like this. Its state goes on changing. See this 0.5 fluid, 0.5, that's 0.5 here, 1 minute, semi-fluid, fluid. So if fluid changes to semi-fluid, and then like this is shown. I'll discuss later on, but now I'm just trying to show you how we could calculate that. This is I take this in case of columns. I'm taking density same, layers. This is bottom layer and this is top layer. Let us say 15 layers are there for 4 meters height, 6 meter height. I'm sorry. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's say number layer 15. Layer height is 0.4 in each, so this is 6 meter height here, 0.4, 15 layers. And column height is let's say 0.4. It start from top and go down. This is 6 meter. Column width is 80 and column depth is 50, and this is pressure WH square over 2. It's a very important point. So we should take this also into our consideration. Will check this later on. Just try to show you that this also works. That's an important point. And we have to then we can see that we could, of course, there. Now, our purpose was not that actually, just try to show you something in this. Now, where is standing preparatory works? We are standing in preparatory works. Preparatory works means form work, and I'll read it again because it's very important point here. You know, very important point here in preparatory works case. Following main activity shall be main activity. Number one is that setting out the required coordinates at all corners to be used for excavation. That is setting out the required coordinates excavation, that is setting out means all corners, and then recording all existing reduce levels of site from site within area within excavation. Now we have to reconfirm what surveys activities. So reconfirmation regarding all survey activities to determine accurately or determine accuracy, since no changes on setting out should be permissible due to implementable proposed running utilities around foundation. QC inspection more than 2 meter resorting to all precautions and barricading. Excavation with simultaneous removal of excavated material to stockpiles areas. Continuous monitoring excavation size and level by compaction duly tested. Preparation for blinding concrete on compacted formation by fixing prefabricated blinding stops around setting out line marks, carrying out blinding a concrete to approved procedures followed by curing for minimum 2-3 days. Application of concrete protection by specialist screw followed by application of inspection, quality inspection to be conducted for release of foundation preparatory activities, fabrication of steel rebars and deliveries to site locations duly tagged for easy identification, fabrication of foundation site formworks based on proprietary design delivered by specialist vendor in line to satisfactory structural calculation respecting concrete hydraulic forces. Placing steel bars. See this fabrication of foundation side formworks based on proprietary design delivered by specialist vendor in line to satisfaction structural calculations respecting concrete hydraulics, which I just showed to you in Excel file converted to PDF. Those calculations of means what resistance they have. You want proprietary yourself, you have to calculate forces, which forces could be found out from that file I showed to you. Again, I can show you fish. This files, this is there. This file is there. This I showed to you. From this, we can find out about requirement. Steel bars for upper side, placing stations in line according to structural drawings designs. Placing all columns, rebars, dowels for structural, superstructural columns pertinent to tabletop. Erection around foundations at defined location. Critical cathodic protection shall be designed to design provisions. Electrical continuity testing shall be conducted for records and submission. Continuous QC inspections should be conducted for all ongoing activities sequences. When all preparatory works, including temporary works, are ready, all preparatory works, including temporary approximately. Quantity wise, pour plan in steps, courses of each 15 into 2 into 0.4 meter, that is widthwise 12 cubic meter each. Sequence of steps shown in attached details in numbers, that is sequence of steps. Time of pour commencement, which is suitable, and plants concrete pump 2, numbers batching plant full time, 1 number standby 1 number, transit mixers 10 numbers 7 meter cube each. Delivery continuous at 10 meter interval, or duration 12 to 14 hours. Equipment 1 vibrator, were usable if required from on other sides. Thermal curing first immediately after pour assembly and shall continue for at least 3 days. Immediate post pour standard method by using filling compound covered by polythene membrane. Post pour set concrete then by removing polythene, adding saturated adhesion, recovering with polythene membrane and filling clean sand 150 mm thick, except within column portion shall be surrounded by small sand embankments. Sand shall be kept sprayed with water. Water supply by tank, full tank to remain steady on site. More than 50 meter water. Concrete crew, foreman 2 numbers, steel fixers 8 numbers, carpenter 8 numbers. All activities to go on site. High slag blast furnace cement to BS 4246. High slag blast furnace cement to BS 4246 with 70% replacement, utilizing 30% STM. C150 type 2 cement for use in massive concrete. Provision of such concrete based on supplementary cementing material. Glass granulated blast furnace slag cement replacement shall assist in delaying concrete temperature 24 degrees Celsius and slump is 150 and 75 is high, but not more than that. General pouring notes. Well, just trying to move in this direction of a successful pour. I'll repeat all this, I'm just giving you something what is very important method statement, so we can't be in hurry. We have to understand this is massive block. So it is on-site pouring shall be controlled, prosecuted. Let's see how long it is. I can give you some minutes to read if you wish. Oh yes, it is big one. So if you want to read, I can give 5 minutes in this. Let's you can come. Read for 5 minutes. I'll be back. No problem, because it's important. Sorry, just read ridiculously. We can do better. So I think you must have gone through this. It's very good that it moves like that. On-site pouring shall be controlled. On-site pouring shall be controlled or prosecuted to a defined indicative plan, details of which are included on attachment concrete pour plan. There is attachment, let us see. Concrete pour plan I showed to you last time, plan of pour. It is not given here, but I will show you for your reference. It's better, I will show to you. I had shown to last time some plan. Let me see if it's traceable now. So it is sketch. This is not that one. Method statement chapter sketch is what's going to sketch. Sketch. It is method statement chapters. Student equipment quality. Method statement sketch. I think. Quality. No, it's not that. I think I lost somewhere. Maybe. Let me find it. Somewhere should be inside this. It should be somewhere. Not possible. That's not there. It should be somewhere. It's just a matter of few minutes. And this problem, management. Storage management. I just want to show for a second only if you can see that. It's plan, facilities plan. Mass block concrete. So mass block concrete should be here in sketches. Must be call form, couple of civil form, lift form, sectional tank, shooting ring, mass block. Yes, there I got it. So this is that plan which I showed you that way. You can see it now very well. So purpose is solved. This is plan. Of course this section is different, size is different, but as I discussed with you how this plan works. Composition foundation concrete pour plan. This is facilities case mass block concrete sequence sketch 58. This was 58. So see, number of confusion. So this is that plan 58. So got this sketch here. That is 58. And this is plan. And this is plan of foundation. This is foundation width wise. This section or steps 1 to 50, you can see quantity in each step is given here, and 2 to 2 meters and 0.4. So one step is here, 2 step is here, 3 here, 4 here, 5 here, 6 here, 7 here, 8 here, 9 here, 10 here, like that, 11 here. Then you can say 11 here and 12 here. Then you can say 13 somewhere here and 14 here, somewhere here. Maybe I don't know where it's not 14 here. Then you can say 14 here and 15 here, and like this up to 50 you go. So this is general method, we can say it is. You can say, so you can say this method is there. We have to depend on that method, and that's beauty of this. Means practical, it's practical resemblance to everything, and it's very important. And I think I'll take this back now and close it now because it's already 3 hours 30. That means, so next time. Let me see now. Let me close this. We'll continue this next time as well. So what I'm going to do it, I'm going to close this. It's okay. I'm going to close this, right? We'll take it next time now. That one. And I'll say to. Thank you very much.